truly a big sacrifice. Ed, thank you. Thank you for your friendship over the years. It's been a quarter of a century. I saw Lee Walker here. It's a quarter of a century for us, too, to fighting some of these battles. As I said, I'm honored to be here this evening. And it's wonderful to be here with so many people, with members of my family, with friends, and just plain good folks. I'm particularly honored to also have here members of my clerk family. One of the things about being on the court, the best part of it, is actually having a chance to raise new kids for 1 year. They are just wonderful, and it is, without a doubt, the best part of the job. I also like to say a word to the students from Big Children's Fund. The book's written for you all. It's written simply to say to you, there's a reason to get up every day and hope, and not to be overwhelmed by so much of the negative that's shoved your way. To look through it and to move on. As my grandfather said, to put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. Well, I thought through the long hours of writing this book and editing it, you think you're done when you have a lot of words down. Someone said once that the book was so long because they didn't have a chance to edit it. The editing becomes as long a part of the book as actually writing it. But I thought of you all, not individually, but sort of almost metaphysically and generally. I thought of you all when I wrote, because there were so many times when I wanted to just say, forget it. This is too hard on too many levels. But now, looking at you all this evening, I'm very glad I did. You flatter me by being here on a Sunday evening. I don't know if I was watching the Bears, whether I was left to be here. But you flatter me and you humble me with your presence here, and I appreciate both your presence and your support. I also want to thank my best friend, not for just being here tonight, but also for the entire process. It has been a long process, and she's been there every step of the way. My wife, Virginia, as most of you probably know, is with the Heritage Foundation, but more importantly, she's been my best friend, both unwavering in her support and her love through the years, all 20 years, as well as the 5 that I've spent on this book. And I'd also like to thank HarperCollins for sponsoring the book tour, and in particular, our face of HarperCollins, Tina Andreatis, who is so dedicated and so wonderful that she flew in from New York on her birthday. Happy birthday, Tina. And again, I'd like to thank the Heritage Foundation and the Federalist Society for co-sponsoring this wonderful evening, this reception, and this wonderful, wonderful event. They're indeed great organizations and wonderful, wonderful friends. You know, I like coming to Chicago, especially on beautiful days like this. I've been to Chicago on some of the other days. The days that Lou Rawls used to talk about. On the wind, he called it the almighty hawk. On coming down Michigan Avenue, as he said, like a giant razor blade. And I felt that wind. And one of my favorite memories is a lady holding on to a signpost that was bending to keep from being blown down Michigan Avenue. But I enjoyed coming to Chicago, and over the years watching the Bears with Butkus and one of my favorite players of all time, Gale Sayers. Who could forget his rookie year with all those touchdowns on a real football field that was muddy instead of that synthetic stuff. But those were wonderful years. I've been on the court. This Tuesday will be 16 years. And one of the wonderful things of having the law clerks here and reunite the people with their Constitution, to write opinions in such a way that people felt enfranchised, that they could understand their Constitution, not to make it remote and distant by coming up with these theories and with words and sentences that put a wall between the people and their Constitution. That has been, you know, I say to my law clerks, how would you explain this to your mother? How would you explain this to your high school teacher? How would you explain it to your football coach or the guy at the gas station? If you can't explain it to him, perhaps we're doing something wrong, because in the end, it is their Constitution, not ours, to play around with it. And in a sense, that's what I've tried to do with this book. We all know what Washington books look like. We know how to write them. I could write this book in a way to put distance between me and the member of the court. You could write it in a way to protect and shield yourself, to let people assume or to think that, well, this person had no difficulties in life. It could read like a resume or a eulogy. Eulogy's always interesting. But at any rate, I don't think that's an honest way to do things, just as I don't think writing opinions for a very elite, distant audience is the right, honest way to write opinions. It's not just their Constitution. And when you read about us, we're not some strange people who descended from Mount Olympus and then sat plunked down on the court. We're just ordinary people who grew up, who went to school, lived in neighborhoods, and somehow we wound up in these positions. Isn't it more helpful to tell you the truth? Sure, it makes us more vulnerable and it gives more fodder to people who want to be critics. But doesn't it also get to people who are also working their way up, who are still trying? Don't they seem to connect with people who aren't self-described as supermen or superhuman, and are rather described like the rest of us really are just regular people? Well, at any rate, I've attempted to write the